attack the header. Yep.
This is only his third ever game for Cameroon. And he now has 2 goals, one a thunderbolt strike from the edge of the area, and this a textbook header, as Sunday Elise, the former Nigeria international, says.
It would be unfair if we don't compliment the quality of the pass. That was a well-timed and well-weighed pass. Don't you think so, please?
I cannot disagree with you. He put it exactly in the area, Sunday, and as you say, you've got to show hunger, and that's exactly what this young indomitable lion did. Because for a moment it looked as though it was just going to be a little bit too far in front of him, but he showed huge desire, good aerial prowess as well, and he managed to head it down too.
In fact, that's the secret. The fact that you go to the ball. If you're already there, you cannot direct it like that. He waited, and then you go, you attack the ball. Because it looked as if he was late, he was coming late.
David Pagu watching on, serenely so.
I guess we can understand why, right?
Apollos into Foster, instant chance for South Africa's comeback. Baleba comes back to tidy up at the back, and really, really importantly so. There he is again, the Brighton midfielder. Look at this, 1-2. Confidence beginning to curse through Cameroonian side, looking forward to Kofan. Sabisi away. Well, Carlos Baleba is being heavily linked at the moment in the media with a move to Manchester United. The transfer window open, of course. The CEO of Brighton having come out to say there are no plans or desire to sell. And I imagine Baleba's dad will also be looking on with interest, because he used to be a footballer and played in South Africa. And
well, that's what they always say before they sell, huh?
We have to respect the codes and the disciplines, Sunday.
We're not going to sell. We're not going to sell.
We will see what happened.
Eventually we'll sell. Oh, the offer was too good.
He was named in the group stage best 11, Baleba. He's got stamina, dribbling, passing skills, real excellent game awareness. And you can imagine that he's going to begin to show us what he's all about, as Cameroon have a 2-goal advantage to protect. Abbas back to Williams, who, well, he kept clean sheets pretty much all the time last time around, and now he's yet to keep one here.
All is not lost for South Africa, but they need a goal. They need a goal as soon as possible, at least to keep the hopes alive. Because the longer the game goes, the more difficult, the more confident the Cameroonians will become, and the more difficult it's going to be for the South Africans to also have the belief that it's doable. So they need to score quick.
Quick to the plate. Nice first touch from Mofokeng. Shemalon just coming in to take it off the toes of the Orlando Pirates player.
Interestingly, we see some team spirits in the Cameroonian side. This always tapping the shoulder, encouragement from one to the other. Maybe that's the secret of this team so far.
The unity. Well, I know some who've been visiting the camp, and they say they're very, very impressed by what David Pagu is getting going there. He keeps his squad in a bubble. He keeps them disciplined, and crucially, he keeps them very, very focused. And I know one of our commentating colleagues here, who Joel Epale, who was visiting, and just saying he came away really just buoyed by what he had seen and the spirit in the camp. And you're absolutely right, Sunday, to pick up on it.
Yeah, but Pierce, you can see it on the pitch. They're playing for one another.
Apollos.
Funny enough, the South Africans are doing the same. They're playing also for one another, but they're just not scored.
Well, they found it so easy to get ahead of the Cameroonians in the first half, and now they're struggling to get in behind.
Yeah, that's now it's almost looking like a mountain to climb now, because the others know that, okay, we are the lead. All we have to do is make sure we don't concede.
Well, the free kick has gone against them, but as you say, they need to score. They've scored in 8 of their last 9 meetings against Cameroon, failing only once in a Africa Cup of Nations qualifying nearly a decade ago. And who was in charge of Cameroon then? Well, it was Hugo Broos. Well, as we see, the goal again, and this terrific delivery in, and the attacking of the ball. Samuel Eto'o style as Nagida's perfect delivery.
Quality passing, quality crosses.
Tucked home.
Yeah.
Williams without a hope. for the second time tonight. He's just got good aerial height as well as he's just got good stature, good height. You remember the forward line of Mboma and Etu for Cameroon, the strength of Mboma and possibly the height and the wiriness of Etu, but this guy seems something of a combination of meeting in the middle of two.
Nah,
of the both.
Like I told you, I'm cheating when I tell you this because I've been watching him a lot. He's very technical. He's a complete player. He can do it all. He can be a linking striker. He can be a striker who plays alone up front. He can be a player that he can play with two strikers, accompanied by someone. He's very good. He's a very good player.
He certainly is. One for the future. Let's not build him up too much in the head. They have to knock him down, but he certainly does look at a rare talent, does Kofan.
He's already one for the present.
Yeah, fair point.
Because he's doing well, so it's not as if we have to wait for him to do well.
Leverkusen really have got some top African talent, some of which is already on display here. Not just Kofan, but others at the tournament who've shown what they're all about at the German club. Excellent scouting, clearly.
Yeah, and also the way they prepare you in Germany.
Thinking really of Ibrahim Maza, the Algerian, who's been fantastic so far for the North Africans in this tournament as well. Him and Kofan in the future, that will be quite tasty.
Good luck to the opponents, to the opposition.
Slowing it right down, South Africa, and that may well play into Cameroon's hands. They seem to have a far more solid structure, often swinging or stringing five across the back. Saying to Bafana, you've got to play through us. Look how deep Teboho Mokoena, he really tries to make things happen for South Africa, is at present. He's playing more like a central defender than he is a central midfielder. Here he is. Mokoena. Every minute of the last campaign, Foster picks it up from Appelis. It's just not enough on it to play it into Mofokeng. That's wayward at the back. And decides not to lead the chase.
South Africans need to do a lot of quick passing and a lot of movements without the ball, and not just playing to the foot of the man. Then it's predictable. They have to now quick passing, and players have to run and receive the ball in space. You have to move the Cameroonians. As long as they have the ball in front of them, it's going to be difficult breaking them. But for the Cameroonians, as long as we keep the ball, they keep the ball in front of them, they have a chance to win it, to keep it as it is now.
Well, they got three central defenders and they've pushed Mudal and Kabini high on the flanks. Kabini having come in today, the 21-year-old based in Norway, for his first appearance since playing in a friendly in November against Zambia, which seems something of a gamble from Hugo Broos.
Interestingly, both teams, I think they've played 9 times. This is about the 10th meeting, I feel. PS, correct me if I'm wrong. And most of the times, it's been South Africa that's dominated the most.
You are absolutely correct about the fact that it is South Africa have dominated 5 wins from the previous 9 meetings. 5 of the games have ended in draws, including the last 3. They're in behind again, Cameroon, but not for Mudal, who read that well. A man who's started every game for Bafana in the last 2 tournaments. Mudal, alert to the danger. I just find it amazing that these two have only met twice in this tournament, and as said, the first time you have to go back to 1996. They're in behind. Kofan is in behind. He just didn't get the run right, but he's managed to hold on to it. Strike at goal. Didn't get that right. And Mbeumo will continue this attack for Cameroon onto his favoured left foot again. And Mbeumo plays it into Chamadou. That's nice footwork. And Namaso. Well, they just didn't get it quite right, as Avon was the intended target.
Beautiful play by the Cameroonians.
Would have been very stylish had it come off. Cameroonian footballers beginning to show us what they are all about and beginning to enjoy it and relax into the game. And obviously, 2 goals to the good really helps them. Foster trying to get in behind. Appelis behind him. Mofokeng as well. The midfield ambling forward. It's deep from Appelis. Well, Mofokeng surely could have headed that at goal. Instead, he looked for support from midfield, and now Cameroon can counter. Chamadou, who began the scoring, just runs into the physical presence of Mbakazi.
This is the danger the South Africans must be ready to take now. The more bodies you throw up front, the more you are liable to be struck by a counter.
Mokoena from distance. Well, it was going to have to be something special from there. Deflected. And we will pick it up again to Boho Mokoena. Mamelodi Sundowns serial champions in South Africa's top flight. Mbumo. Playing for a club that used to be serial champions in England's top flight. Avon. Mbumo. Nice way to pass. Enfin turns, gets his body between ball and man and draws the foul. Good centre-forward play.
Now, this is not a Cameroonian team that's just been built just some weeks ago. They are really playing some collective stuff, and initially we felt that was one of the reasons why they were not able to get their act together at the end of the game. But you see them enjoying the game now, running into movement, and playing, receiving the ball, and even technical just, that is really making the difference here now.
So Sabisi joining another of South Africa's central defenders, Ngezana, and the referee's notebook. All the players' book so far on both sides. In the centre of defence, and Boomer just takes it short into Namaso. Labour just very happily goes back, all the way back. With a nice quote from him that he was saying that when he was coming up in his career, Samuel Eto'o gave him some advice. He said, magic doesn't exist, only hard work pays off. I'm sure you'd agree with that, Sunday.
Well, talent is overrated. If you don't work, you're talented, well, you'll just end up being a very talented ex-player.
Or non-player, quite possibly.
Or ex-player who didn't make it.
Mokoena. He has made it, really impressed in the last tournament, but yet to hit those heights. Sabisi looking to play in Kabini. And Mbumo with a little flick, doesn't come off. Mofokeng. Obas. Apollos, little bit of space. Forward into Foster. He's got good link-up play, Foster. Shows it there. Strike comes in, but doesn't travel far. Mudau into Apollos again. Mokoena on the floor from South Africa, as has been there once over the years. Albas. Mokoena with the delivery. Headed away with Foster lurking. Mbakazi swings it in on this occasion. Nuhu goes up. And Namaso with the clearance, and South Africa will have to build again.
I think it's pretty good for Cameroon that Nuhu is able to play this game, because he was. We all thought he was not going to play due to the injuries, that injury that he sustained from the last game.
Went off just before half-time. He did later say it was precautionary, said it was muscle fatigue. And the round of 16 was all important because Cameroon, courtesy of winning their opener and drawing their second, were as good as through. 4 points, more than enough to take you through as one of the best for third-place sides. In the end, 2 points ended up being enough.
This is static ball possession. This is static ball position. You can't hurt your position like this.
Mokoena into the middle.
That's better.
Foster. South Africa, super save from Mpasi. Well, there was the chance for South Africa, driven in and deflected away. Mokoena knocking on the door. Bafana. Albas out to Mbakazi again. That's a good delivery, and that's a really good bit of defensive play once again to clear their lines. Nagida goes down. We'll take some of this sting out of this momentum building for South Africa, but good balls in and good defensive play as well.
That's what I was saying. Earlier it was static, just playing it foot to foot. Get the crosses in. Get the crosses in as much as possible.
Mudau had a little touch. I wonder if that had been ruled out for the handball.
I think so too. I think it will have been ruled out for the handball.
In the end, it was Kabini who had the strike.
I think so, because the hand was going towards the ball. So
unnatural position, I think we could safely say as well. I'm not sure that would have counted. Well,
no human being works like that. So it's an unnatural position.
It is time to roll the dice. And Aubrey Modiba, who had played every minute of the campaign, is on for South Africa. I was surprised to see the 30-year-old not starting. And he's on in place of Kabini, who just had that effort. He will slot in at left back or left wing back, possibly go a little bit higher left midfield. Evidence, Mahopa coming on, the Orlando Pirates striker. His only goal ever at an Africa Cup of Nations. This is his second tournament. Came in the round of 16 last time around against Morocco. And now South Africa and their supporters could do with him repeating the feat. Apollos is off. So two strikers up top for South Africa now, Foster and Mahopa. And they're just going to need to be fed, but Apollos is off, so that removes some of the creativity coming their way.
It's useless bringing in two strikers if the crosses are not coming in. So they have also to make sure that they get into positions where they could cross this ball in. They need crosses in the box.
Abbas. Bokazi, who can hit them from distance, as we saw earlier in the tournament, thumping, cannoning a strike against the crossbar from distance. Kafane trying to get onto a ball that's just too heavy for Mbumo.
Well read by the goalkeeper.
Williams charging out, but the pass, let's be honest, could have been better from the Man United man, Beleba. Shamadou. Got the scoring underway in case you are joining us late. Half an hour ago in playing time. It was 34 minutes on the clock. Shamadou scoring for the very first time. And then Enfin with his second goal in just 3 appearances for his national team, the 19-year-old. It's another 6 months before he turns 20. King just trying to flick it forward to Foster, doesn't come off. Namaso, that's nice in the midfield again, and Beleba's brought down, and that's a free kick, and may well be another yellow card as well to the man who has just come on.
This is quite impressive from the Cameroonians to see quick shot passing and both passing and going in movement. This is not what you would expect from a team that was just assembled recently. That was a clear foul and deserved the yellow card.
Modiba scored a very unfortunate own goal in the last game against Zimbabwe when Warner Williams' save cannoned off his chest and he couldn't get out of the way, and it just flew into the back of the net. Now he's been booked as well. Kofan trying to chest it down and eventually does find a teammate. Avon. Here is Kofan. Nagida, who's already put in one really good cross. That's lacking the pace and power. And Boomer with the header, but very, very easy for the South African defence. As we tick towards the 4th and final quarter of the game, and still South Africa yet to get on the score sheet. Ironically, they'd only ever kept clean sheets in the round of 16, and Cameroon had never managed to do so. Well, it's very much flipped around so far. A reminder that the winners will be meeting the hosts, Morocco, on Friday in the quarter-finals in the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium. And again, that might well be 70,000 can get into that arena. And this is the really tough side of the draw, because it also has Sunday Elise's Nigeria, who take on Mozambique tomorrow, and it also has Algeria and the Democratic Republic of Congo, who face here in Rabat on Tuesday.
Just fireworks everywhere. This is why we love the AFCON.
Fireworks amidst the driving rain. Mofokeng just goes down. That'll be a free kick.
Free kick, yeah.
And this is into Boho Mokoena territory. And instantly he goes to grab the ball. He doesn't, it's Albas who does.
One thing for sure, be it South Africa, be it Cameroon, on Friday is going to be fireworks. Because Cameroon is solid, South Africa is solid, and the Moroccans have shown that they've really got it going on. So
they struggled today to beat Tanzania, who were in the knockout stage for the very first time. in the tournament. Raheem Diaz, his 4th goal at this Total Energies 2025 Africa Cup of Nations to go outright top scorer above the likes of Riyad Mahrez of Algeria.
That was to be expected that they struggle because the Tanzanian side, they are not a bad side. They've done well this year.
Making the best of what they got.
Exactly.
Ahead of co-hosting the tournament.
Now
What is now next year, 2027. Mokoena flighted one home against Morocco at this stage of the competition last time around. South Africa need something. He found the top left-hand corner from the left-hand side of the D on that occasion. Well, there's a South African wall next to the Cameroonian wall, which might suggest he's going to try and aim it there as they break. May well be the training ground tactic. The Kenyan official just making sure he's happy with everything. Mokoena taking his time before putting the ball down, which he does now. Whistles from the Cameroonian supporters. Could this be a turning point in the game for the 1996 African champions? Mokoena turned behind by a sprawling Epassi, who did well. He didn't have the power he'd have wanted. He's a bit frustrated with himself. On target though, Sunday Elise, but a comfortable save.
Yeah, that was very attentive, the goalkeeper.
Scrambling across his goal. Epassi. Still just trying to make sure that there was nothing untoward. Mofokeng, outswinger, cleared away, and Mbeumo charging forward to pick this up at pace. He needs support, and he doesn't have too much of it. At the moment, he's just going himself. Brian Mbeumo for Cameroon, into the middle it goes, drops for Abom! Williams with the block. Decisively so. Well, that was one end of the pitch to the other in lightning speed by Mbeumo.
This is the time now where you get to see the way. This is what we said earlier on. Well made out of Mbeumo. When a team is under so much pressure like this and they need to score, like the South Africans, the counter-attack is where they will get hurt, and Mbeumo just broke it there.
Excellent drive and determination from Mbeumo. 20 goals in the Premier League last season for Brentford was some feat. And he's got 6 so far in the top flight with Manchester United. As we see Mokoena's strike. Is it going in, just possibly clipping the post and finding its way into the back of the net. You have to bend on it. Definitely needed saving. Oh, Epassi. Madiba. Bukazi. Sabisi. A little short. Namaso gets the touch and wins the free kick.
That's a yellow card.
And they are totting up. Mokoena booked on match day 2, gets his 2nd of the tournament. As I said earlier,
First
group stage cautions wiped out. It was once again excellent drive from the Cameroonian player. And this was a really, really vital block from Williams, Africa's goalkeeper of the year in 2024. Around the corner into Kofan. There's only one in the middle. He plays it into the middle and he wins the corner. And a couple of Cameroonian players on the pitch applauding the good thinking of both Mbeumo and Kofan. Namaso has started every game here so far. Comes over to take this. Malone just ambles his way forward into the area. 5 Cameroonian players in and around the penalty area. Goes very deep. It's the white South African head who gets it away before Modiba. And then Baleba into the Rabat sky. And Bouba on the nice turn to Chamadou. And he's penalised. Didn't look too impressed with that decision. And then he's just over 30 caps now for Cameroon. His debut back in 2022. Umo. Cameroon are just looking solid and structured. This was the stadium where their dream of reaching the 2026 World Cup ended. It's where they played their semi-final of the African World Cup playoffs against the Democratic Republic of Congo. As Williams comes to clear, Chancel Mbemba breaking Cameroonian hearts in stoppage time. 1-0 it ended. And then the Congolese seeing off Sunday Elise's Nigeria in the final, which he won't be thanking me for mentioning, but no team from Africa has been to the World Cup as many times as Cameroon. 8 visits. They're not extending on this occasion. Tunisia and Morocco catching them up with 7. Foster flicks it on back into Foster. Mokwena into the box it goes. And again, smartly cleared at the back. Well, they are running out of time. Over a quarter of an hour to go. Sipo Mbule is on, and Mofake is off. And his miss early in the game, and threw in on goal, and only a passy to beat, and unable to keep it down, looking ever more costly. Mbule played in every game in the group stage, the 27-year-old with Orlando Pirates, but he's never scored for South Africa. And around a dozen or so caps. It would be a really good time if he could do so now. Good ball into the area, flashed across the face of goal. No one could get on the end of it. And I think ultimately the ball went out of play because that's been given as a goal kick to Cameroon. The Cameroonian supporters beginning to find their voice. We've yet to see, apart from that enforced substitution when Yongwa went off early in the first half to be replaced by Nagida, Pagu making any changes. Abbas. Modiba, not enough on the pass again. Mbeumo. Nice footwork from Mbeumo to the delight of the indomitable Lions fans. Avon. 15 against another. Still he's scrapping. To Avon. It's going to be a South African throw, which is taken quickly, as you might expect. Williams. They're going to have to build all the way from the back. Modiba. Sibisi. Albas. A lot of space here for the man who's just come on, Mbule. And on the right-hand side as well. Delivery like that is not going to help Bafana's cause. Well, they will be assisted by the fact that Cameroon have just given the ball back to them. Albas. Forward again. And there's a Cameroonian player down, which is why there was just a bit of hesitation from the 20-year-old Mbakazi. He made a move to the United States and Chicago Fire last month. His coach had wanted him to go and play in Europe. Didn't happen. Baleba, the man down. Sunday, have you seen anything in the last few minutes from South Africa that suggests they can find a way back into this game?
Well, there's still it's looking. The more the clock takes, the more difficult it looks for the South Africans at the moment. Now they desperately need a goal. Now they must score a goal to get back into this game. And as long as the clock keeps on ticking without a goal, the stronger the Cameroonians will be, the more confident they will be.
More cheers for Samuel Eto'o, whose reign as president of the Cameroon FA, known as fecaf, has been anything but smooth. He appointed his former teammate Rigobert Song. He was in charge of the last Nations Cup. It did not go well, nor did World Cup qualifying, as said. But this is much better. The Labour's going off the pitch.
Well, from the ovation he's getting from the fans, from the Cameroonian fans, it seems as if the people really want him there. That's the interesting part of this whole thing.
He has had a battle with the sports ministry over the years about who's basically in charge. So Namaso comes off, on comes Olivier Kemot. And Christopher Wu is also on. Namaso off, and so too the substitute who came on in the first half, Nagida. And now Pagu does make his changes. Just pausing for the stadium announcer, informing us of the crowd at this arena. 18,000 capacity, and just 4,000 empty seats. And we have some enormous stadiums here in Morocco. 70,000, as I said, just down the road. The stadium that will host the final, that's not as big as the one in Tangier, 75,000 seater. And they are building a 115,000 capacity arena in Casablanca. Morocco, just the powerhouse of African football in terms of investment, as Mbeumo plays it over the top into Kofan, who can seal it here, but he can't, because he cannot guide that on target.
Very intelligent.
Super raking ball from Mbeumo.
Very intelligent run by Kofane. As the first move he made was sideways to keep himself onside, and then the second move was to attack the space. Very intelligently well played.
Easily found as well, just carved open, as you say, as South Africa looked to go forward, leaving gaps at the back, of course. Albas into Mokoena. Modiba, that's a nice ball. Now it's the delivery into the middle, like Foster can't get on it. Well, neither can the player coming in behind him, Mudal. And that possibly sums up South Africa's night, because they carved the Cameroon defence open. The ball in was absolutely what you wanted to be. Foster couldn't get anything on it, neither could the player behind him. Glorious opportunity, and it might just not be South Africa's night Sunday.
It's not looking like it.
Do I dare raise the fact that in 1996, when they won at Nigeria, the defending African champions weren't there? Do you think you would have possibly prevented them from getting the title on that occasion on South African soil?
I don't think. I know we will have come back home with the trophy.
I should possibly have known the answer to that. Nigeria, let's not forget, in 1996, went on to stun the world in thrilling style, and becoming the first African nation to ever win gold in Olympic football. And in what style they did it. Foster trying to find her way back into this game. Shea Malone with the tackle. No. And then Foster just showing a little bit of frustration. He might be in serious trouble here, because he's been remonstrating with the official. He's got a yellow. You do not put your hands on the officials. Well, it was Wu who had his hands on Foster's shoulder. Then he lost it, couldn't get the strike away. And then Well, I hope we see this incident. He went over to the Kenyan and he started to manhandle it. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. Look at that. That's not very wise, is it, Sunday Elise?
No, not at all. In fact, he's lucky to have gone off, but been let off with just a yellow card.
Player number 19, Kosinati CDC, easy played by player number 8, Chepang Moremi.
So, Chepang Moremi, another with Orlando Pirates, scored in the group stage against Zimbabwe, is on. He's a winger for a central defender. 7 minutes to go. Cameroon looking very, very comfortable. Mokoena into Moremi. A first touch from him, away from Shea Malone. Good covering by Avon, and he's also managed to get a little touch off the South African player, and that'll be a Cameroonian throw. Well, he didn't see it, but we did in the commentary position. Smart play from Avon, who's attracting interest from some big European sides, had been linked with some Premier League sides in England in the last transfer window. The 21-year-old with Lorient. Chamadou, only as far as Modiba. Mokoena trying to find Moremi. Wu, the substitute, just gets it away. Mokoena driving forward, and his attempted cross is deflected behind, and that'll be a South Africa corner. Well, apart from the corner taker, the outfield players for South Africa, bar two, are in the penalty area. We've seen drama in this competition. This would be something special. Flicked in and away, kneed away. At the back. Baleba, too forceful. Oh, there was a break on there for Cameroon. Once again. Central midfielder for Cameroon impressing. Mbule to Mokoena. These two have played with each other since their infancy, since they were early teens. Mbule again. Modiba, Foster into Mbule, twisting, turning. And Wu just hits it up towards the centre circle. Modiba. Mbule to the substitute Moremi. And that's going to be a throw, no more. Well, they've got just over 4 minutes and whatever is added on for additional time to hold on Cameroon. I thought they will make it into the quarter-finals. Beaten in the round of 16 by Nigeria last time around. A double from Ademola Lookman. They were third on home soil in the 2021 edition, which was played in 2022 because of the delay of that caused by the coronavirus pandemic. This was nice football from South Africa. It just didn't, once again, go their way.
Quality defending by the Cameroonians here, crowding him without touching him, but crowding him and stopping him from hitting the striker goal. That was what made the difference there.
Yeah, Samuel Cotto with that important touch as he has. Well, the labour has gone into the referee's notebook. Quite why is unclear. Could it be time wasting? Another who was booked in the group stages, but White, of course. So that's two Cameroonian players, Nuhu and Baleba. Mokoena. And again. With the delivery! And South Africa do get one back. With just 2.5 minutes left on the clock, a real melee in there as well. But they've got the goal. The substitute, Evidence Mahopa, firing home. What a ball into the area. From Modiba, one sub to another. And he took it well. And do we now have a grandstand finish and have South Africa possibly given themselves the platform to come back? Unlikely it may be. But it's now a look at how much additional time will be added on. There are going to be some substitutes coming on for Cameroon. We could be set for an explosive finish Sunday, Elise.
Well, that makes the next 3 minutes going to be, let's see what's left for us here. This is quite, the South Africans can still have a go at this. It's still possible. We've seen it all in this tournament. We saw it with Mali yesterday, so everything is possible. So they can just have a go at it.
We certainly did. Mali, who went down right at the death against Tunisia and then found a equaliser deep in stoppage time before surviving extra time as well, with only 10 men that they'd played for so much of the game and then winning on penalties. Burkina Faso in the group stage were trailing in the 95th minute of their opening game against Equatorial Guinea before coming back to not just equalise but win the game in the 98th minute. Cameroon with changes. Kafan, who got that second goal, which currently separates the sides, coming on. Flavien Enzo Boyamo, the central defender, now player right back as well, is on.
Number 24, Carlos Baleba is replaced by player number 22, Enzo Boyamo.
He's in place of Baleba, who had already left, and then Patrick Soko, the winger based in the second tier in Spanish football with Almeria, is on.
12, Patrick Soko.
Enfin abandoned as the Cameroon coach looks to tighten things up with just now a goal in it. Williams goes long, Wu with the header away. Mbula, Foster with the strike. Well defended. And then another effort comes in. This time, Cameroon again doing enough to deny Mudau, who takes the throw.
Additional time, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Additional time. Williams goes long again. It's Route 1 stuff. Makopa up in the air. Oh, just inches wide. Ipasi came and missed. He was in no man's land, the Cameroon keeper. Makopa, if he had just got that. Look at this. Hearts in mouths time for Cameroon. And Mahopa has got one so close to a second. That was a let-off, and I think we're going to see a lot more Route 1 of football in the 4 and a bit minutes that remain. Mbula, Cotto, Mokoena, and Williams, just you can see him just urging the team forward. Instead, on this occasion, he plays it out to Modiba.
South Africans have to play quickly now and get the ball in the box as quick as possible.
They come out again. Ipasi, Foster with the strike. And an infringement spotted in there. Well, they could not be any more direct, could they, Sunday?
Well, that's all they have to do now. They have to stop the passing and get the ball into the box. It's obvious now that the goalkeeper is not too sure of himself when he comes out for the balls, for the crosses. They just have to multiply the balls in the box now. And on the contrary, the Cameroonians have to play as slowly as possible.
Well, there's a
Take
bit
the time.
Excuse me, there's a bit of needle between Cameroon captain Nuhu and Foster. I think we know what we might be seeing in the minutes that remain. Here is Foster. Cotto with the header. He's really been everywhere, that now 17 for Cameroon. Well, that's wayward. And that's loose from South Africa. And Ipasi taking his time on the far end of the pitch. There's a South African player down. He's being lifted up by Williams, and he's hopping forward.
Now that you don't see very often in football.
You don't. Normally it's the opposition. So Ungezana is injured. Here he is. He's hopping. He was lifted up by Williams. He needs to get off the pitch so they can get on. Normally you see one opponent doing it to another team.
Oh, but this is a sorry sight to see, and you can see that he's doing everything possible to get back on the pitch.
Passi wisely taking his time, and now he goes down on the floor to enormous cheers from Cameroonian fans who wave their flags. They are so close. Well, Passi, that's not so clever. Just to get it away.
Tense moment.
Indeed, you can see the nerves. Modiba goes one way. Mokoena. Space on this right-hand side. Obas with the delivery. Mokoena. One decent ball in again could change everything. Modiba dinks it up. Muhu away. Mokoena goes down under the challenge. Well, he knew what was coming his way. He read that all day long, and he's won the free kick as well.
South Africans have to make very good use of this now. This might be the last opportunity they get to strike a goal.
Boule standing over it. I said, score for South Africa. He's just going to play this in, I would have thought, to the left-hand side and hope he can find a right shirted head. Well, he can't, but he has got a corner, possibly, if this goes behind. The referee gave it, the assistant didn't. 30 seconds of the 5 minutes of additional time to go. It's not a corner. It is a corner. Remy does now put it down in the corner circle. So this is surely it for Bafana. No, it's the throw. Modiba. Umbule. That's deflected behind, and that will be a corner. And this is the final moment and chance for South Africa to get into this. A crowded penalty area. Can they level it up? They cannot, because there's a Cameroonian head that gets up there. And then there's a Cameroonian clearance up towards the centre circle. All eyes now on the referee. Wondering Williams just hacks it forward. And again it goes high in the sky, as does the referee's arms, as huge cheers go all around the stadium in Rabat. Samuel Eto'o with his arms up in the air, as well as Cameroon knock South Africa out of the Africa Cup of Nations. A threadbare side patched together by their coach with just 3 weeks preparation. A very quick final thought from you, Sunday Elise.
Great game. I think the Cameroonians, the South Africans didn't make use of the opportunities they got earlier in the game, that they should have punished the Cameroonians from at the beginning of the game, and that cost them, just like I said earlier before. But the kudos to the Cameroonians. When they did get the chance, they used it. And that's what made the difference in this game.
Look what it means. You can see what it means. Goals from Junior Chamadou, his first for the Indomitable Lions. Christian Kofan, their young striker, with his second at international level in what is his first ever tournament and only third appearance. Gave them a 2-goal advantage. Evidence Mahopa, the South African substitute, pulled one back right at the end. But they have held on. Have the Indomitable Lions, the 5-time African champions. They will meet Morocco here in the Moroccan capital, Rabat, on Friday in the quarter-finals. Brian Mbumo leading the charge and the celebrations. It has ended in the El Barid Stadium. South Africa 1, Cameroon 2.